So I guess this will be my last point because I keep forgetting what I was gonna say for uh, my thoughts on Amandla. But this is really, I'll just kind of do a conclusion of black folks should be very careful of what white society promotes. Amandla is not an ally. Amandla is one of those. Well, and my friend coined this terminology. This term, um, she is a dear white people black. A dear, she's one of those dear white people blacks. Let me you put that in plural. And what I mean by that is that these are black folks who waste their time trying to prove white society that black folks aren't that bad or how they're not that threatening. Watch the movie Dear Black People. It's a shitty movie, but it's very powerful on how the biracial girl was so militant, pro-black, and yet she was with this white guy. And you see how the energy flipped when she didn't get support for dating interracially. And people saw that, she was, just bull jiving. She's just making up because she's biracial. And you see how all the races, despite all the racism at school, and even at a racist party, that she, on the last scene, she collapsed and she just abandoned her black friends. Um, she didn't give a fuck about the incident at the party, and she stopped being rebellious. That was the very interesting thing, because in her film class she would always make some kind of anti-white um, rant with her videos, and all of a sudden, you know, when her black friends didn't support her IR dating, all of a sudden, um, she's blamed. I'm like, the situation got worse at your school. How are you quiet? How are you quiet now? In a few minutes when shit was, you know, moderate and the racism was at a minimum or tolerable level, you had a lot of shit to say, but when shit hit the fan, you're quiet. Yeah, that's those dear white people blacks. Forgive the gun noises. I think people are shooting firecrackers or whatnot. Uh, Sound like an argument. Maybe it's real guns. I don't know. I live on the other side of the neighborhood. Usually the foolishness is from the ghetto that's neighbored by. I don't know if it's a real gun. I don't think it is. But anyways, that's those dear white people blacks, and you see this with people like not Francesca. With Francesca, I question her, and I even email. I even commented on one of her videos where she ranted about Spike Lee promoting rape culture and silencing the victims of rape. The movie was about gun violence, and everybody kept focusing about the sexual aspect when the goddamn movie was about gun violence. But everybody missed the point. But like I was saying, when I messaged her, I always was very critical of her because I didn't understand why she had so much vitriol or venom towards white males specifically when she's dating one. It doesn't make sense to be so rebellious about how white folks are very insensitive when it comes to cultural appreciation or understanding that reverse racism doesn't exist. It's very confusing to us to even to where you made a video about racism and dating preferences. It's very weird knowing that um, you talk about how there's racism in dating, but you're with a white guy. You make all these videos about racism, and you're with a white guy. You make all this hoopla about cops gunning down black boys, yet you're dating a white boy. See, that's the thing that I don't understand. But that's rhetorical. I do understand. And what, like I said before in other videos, is that they don't really give a damn about black issues. They're just put out up on the front to entertain you and make you believe that there's black people in high places that care about your issues when they're not. They're not fighting for your issues. They're not fighting for your respect. They're not fighting for improving black life. They're just trying to paint their picture of themselves and say, hey, I know I'm black, and but I'm not like them. You know, I'm different. I can tolerate the racism. I can do a jive dance. I can do this and that. You have to understand that these people don't have black folks' best interests at heart. Because when you remove the ghetto gagger, and oh yes, speaking of ghetto gaggers, I saw a tweet by Netta, the woman from Black Lives Matter. She made a sign, and she posted this, this sign that she made, and it said, "Behind the scenes of ghetto gaggers." I'm pretty sure it's a joke, but you kind of see where she's going with this, and don't be surprised when you see Netta with a white boy. Just saying. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Um, be very wary of Black Lives Matter, because a lot of the Black Lives Matter folks ends up being just gay issues. And I'm seeing a lot of non-blacks, these intersectionalists, sporting hoodies and hashtags of all Black Lives Matter. They put all in it. And when they put all, they're just making sure that you remember that, hey, there's a black pedophile, there's a black homosexual that needs your love too. And unfortunately, they won't get it. Um, I hope these videos prove to be educational to the black folks. I could make these videos a bit more crafty, but I'm out of time and have things to do. But I really want people to understand that, well, you already understand. And I just want people to see that 2006 will really be the year of the coon, the Negro Bedouins, and the swirlers. And you have to understand that with these dear white people, blacks, is that they're just trying to showcase themselves and say, hey, give me attention. I'm only rebellious because you don't have me on a leash. And that's basically how Amandla comes off. This rebellious girl who can't stand the Kardashians, like most black women. And you put her on a white magazine that showcase white women and promotes them all day. All of a sudden they're magical, and you don't know why. You know, these women, these bedwenches, they'll come off rebellious. Every now and then, Crystalline Carazon will talk about, what white boys are doing wrong. Francesca, she'll talk about, how insensitive it is to touch her hair. They'll make videos about that. But despite their little grievances or childish grievances with white boys, that's really what they want and that's what they're after. Um, so I really want to end this video here now. shit. Let me think if there's anything else I need that needs to be said. But you'd be very wary of rebellious black women. Be because a lot of them are feminists. And the thing is, the black community is already rebellious and without order. So it's like, how can you be more rebellious how can you be rebellious in a jungle? How can that's kind of like with the comparison that I'm making. Yes, um, yeah, I mean, it's coughing. But you gotta be careful with that. In Manla, like I said before, it's very weird. It's very suspect to me. You came off rebellious. White folks put you on. Now, I see all these white girls liking you now. All the white girls loving you now, and then you entertain them with talks of intersectionality and magical black girls are intrinsic, and let's just be real and let's just be honest with you. You know, if you're gonna talk about black girls, talk about the black community, talk about the issues. I don't see rainbows. I don't see flashy cars often. I don't see businesses. I don't see success. I don't see a patriarchy. Hell, I don't even see a structured matriarchy at that matter. Leave the intrinsics for a storybook or your comics. I'm about reality.